Welcome, dear friends. I invite you to enjoy this short novel that has been narrated from my real life happenings during my teenage days. Though the names have been changed for privacy's sake, yet the narrations are facts that I came across in the year 1987. Titled A Midwinter Night's Walk with a Dead Man, it is filled with thought-provoking incidents, humor, heart-rending incidents, sarcasm and much more, taking you to the yesteryears. The paperback is available at Amazon India and Notion Press. The ebook is on Amazon.com worldwide. Links to which have been given in the description. Now let me take you on a detour, beginning with the first chapter. Chapter 1, an intro. It was a sunny day, on a cold November morning. Sitting in our small drawing-cum-bedroom, I was sipping my bed coffee, watching the clear blue sky in the morning sun, with its warm rays, having a tranquilizing effect on my limbs, frozen, due the winter's chill, the previous night. My three siblings, Jerry, Raj and Naveen, were busy. Jerry, trying to hijack the milk pot. His love for milk is so much that he takes it plain, without sugar or any other powders that add to the taste, reminding of some people who love their single malt, plain, not even on the rocks. Raj, always a silent killer, was with Mummy, trying his way to pull out a few pieces of mutton from the gravy that Mummy was cooking for lunch. He loves mutton more than himself. Poor animals, I feel sad for them. The last, but not the least, Naveen, was busy repairing our old table fan, the one and only one we had in our drawing-cum-bedroom. He was an electrical engineer, fearlessly trying out his trick with electricity. Once, he was even thrown away, due to the electric shock he received from this self-same fan. Still he did not change his course. Finally he ended up becoming a Catholic priest. Shocks were no issues for him, then, as he transformed into a shock absorber, absorbing the shocks of the faithful, sometimes shocking them too. We are a family of 6, plus 1, 7. The seventh was my Aunt Jai, a spinster and a retired teacher, who had always been with us and took care of us, boys. We are 4 brothers and about 3 of them, I had already given a brief intro in my previous paragraph. Myself being the eldest of all, am an open book for you all to read, and in due course, I hope you will get to know about me. I leave it at that. About our parents, Dad was a clerk at a government office and Mummy is always a smiling housewife. Sometimes, she smiles, even while giving us a good beating during studies. Also, part of our family were Betsy and Brutus. Betsy, the vegetarian feline, never once killed a mouse, but leaves them under Dad's pillow to irritate him. And Brutus, the omnivorous canine, a valiant fellow, he had killed many vipers that took refuge at our campus and also removed pounds of flesh from the backsides of boys who jumped into our compound to rob guavas from our trees. That totals to 9 members. Our house was situated at a locality by name Puliyakulam in the city of Coimbatore, a sprawling city of the southern state of Tamil Nadu in India. Coimbatore, the textile city of South India, is also known as the Manchester of South India. One can find a lot of spinning and textile mills in Coimbatore. Coimbatore is also known for its small and medium-scale industries and cottage industries. This was the place we grew up in and groomed up as well. Our home at Puliyakulam was a 3-room, tiled roof building. There were a lot of breakages here and there, many a times, converting Dad from a civil servant to a civil engineer and a mason, planning and patching up the house. Well, now about the rooms. The first was a drawing-cum-bedroom for the whole lot. The next, which was supposed to be the bedroom, was filled with almirahs, chests and in fact, a lot of loose clothes scattered everywhere. The third was the kitchen-cum-dining, our Mummy's permanent residence, except for our brief intervention during meals. The restroom and bathroom were at 2 different ends of the huge compound, with fruit trees, kitchen garden and on. Dad was a good farmer too. There was a big room at one far end of our compound, where we reared chicken for our family needs. This was our small, happy establishment. Coming back to the cold November morning, with the soothing sun rays, warming up my whole being and the piping hot cup of coffee, relaxing my nerves and energizing me, to face another busy day, I was basking in the morning sun, lost in the grandeur of this whole scenario, unfurled before me, to relish and cherish. Mornings had always been that way, for me. A time to relax and a time to reflect. Suddenly, bang, there was a loud noise. We had a neighbor, who had a coconut tree, just by the side of our house, and coconuts were falling on our tiled roof. This was a regular, ongoing activity. This must be one such incident, I thought. We do not much bother about it, because, once a coconut falls and breaks our tiles, Dad used to call our neighbor and he used to get some tiles and replace them. He always had a good stock of those tiles, for our purpose. A good uncle, he was. He even tried pulling the tree towards his side, by using metal cables, but, in vain. The tree was more affectionate to us and proved mightier, than the cables. But, this was a different sound. With a start, I bounded to the spot, only to see the photo frame of my long-dead grandfather, fallen to the ground and broken to pieces. He passed away, when I was 3 years old, after giving me some good advice, which I could not comprehend then. The glass pieces spilled everywhere. The whole family assembled at the spot. Even, in those days, we were a forward-looking, republic family and all decisions were made, with majority voting only for such issues. Otherwise, autocracy was also, in practice. Must be the work of a lizard or mouse, Dad exclaimed. We had a lot of them, freely roaming around, in our house. That's why I tell you to put a steel wire, instead of that string, to hang the photos on, Mummy retorted. But, it had been that way for years, Dad, this time. Everything has a shelf life, was Mummy's reply to that. And then, out of nowhere, appears our Aunt Jai. Oh. Has that photo fallen and broken too, that too on a Friday? Well, your grandfather loved your uncle in OT so much. Maybe something is wrong with him, she explains. We all had a good laugh, knowing well, the superstitious old lady was always like that. At that very moment, we hear the bicycle bell ring, at our gate, and we see the man in khaki, calling out, "Telegram. Telegram." Dad opens it, there the message goes, "Uncle serious, start immediately, from Aunt May, OT. Oh, what a coincidence. I knew, Aunt Jai utters. You were all laughing. Now you go there and be at Uncle's side. I will follow, she tells me. Before my next move, let me present a brief note about Uncle Uti. That was how we called him, Uti Mama, in our colloquial Tamil language. He was a hearty person, in his 70s, married, some 40 plus years, to Aunt May. He was a soft-spoken, jovial, kind-hearted and a loving person. He had a craze for big cars and used to get new ones every new year. Oldsmobile, Plymouth, Chevrolet, to name a few. But later, due to advancement of age and dimming eyesight, he gave up driving and started using taxis. A dog lover too, he was. He always used to feed a part of his every meal to his dog. He preferred whiskey to any other drink, always had a liking for cheroots and enjoyed a peaceful life, even in turbulent times. A multilingual person, he greeted people in their own mother tongue, and Uti was a place inhabited by people speaking many languages. A well-read, well-dressed person, one can always find him in front of the fireplace, in his room, with his favorite transistor, listening to BBC News or busy with newspapers or his Remington portable typewriter, with a glass of whiskey next to him and the cheroot hanging from his lips, producing a strong aroma and a lot of smoke around him. He was a good storyteller, too. My brother Jerry was the only listener to his stories, believing all that he said, including the fast ones he used to pull. A jolly good man, Uncle was always there, with a hearty laugh, even when Aunt May used to yell at him. Well, about Aunt May. She was the breadwinner of the family, an agriculturist by profession. She had a farmland of around 65 acres and a lot many people working in it. A busy lady, at all times, she was strict, well-disciplined, dominating and at the same time, a kind-hearted person, too. All her staff loved her. She paid them in time and helped them whenever they were in need. Uncle was the president of the house, giving away goodies to others, and it was Aunt May who was the prime minister and in charge of the complete household. I was the godson of Uncle Uti and Aunt May, a practice in Roman Catholic denominations. Godparents, apart from parents, are entrusted with the upbringing of the child in Christian faith. This is done during the baptism of the child, and both of them were very affectionate to me. While writing this, tears fill my eyes, because they are no more for me to say, I love them. Now, my journey to OT begins. If you find this interesting, do subscribe and click on the bell button to receive prompt notifications, and do share it with your friends. Meet you with a more interesting episode tomorrow. Till then, have a great day.